Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here. Today's adventure brings us to the hills of eastern Tennessee, to a little community by the name of Sweetwater, where just down the road a bit lies the largest underground lake in America. And did I mention it's inside a mountain and you have to go through some very dark caves to get to it? It should be interesting. I'm inviting you to join me. Shall you? The sign states 1 mile ahead. We're close. We're very close. The building out front is the entry point, 3 flags, the American in the middle and the 2 Tennessee state flags on either side. Gonna head in that front door and straight. Video bomb. Known as the Great Craighead Cave, and in 1976 it was designated a natural landmark by the National Park Services. They start each tour at the top of the hour, which gives me a few minutes to wander around before mine begins. Also on site is a picnic area, an old western village with a blacksmith tucked away over there, and if you get thirsty, got some moonshine on tap. It appears as if he took the day off. I'm not seeing him in here. His handiwork though, the horseshoes are on the door. Do not pump the bellows. If you have a coin, cast a wish in the well. All funds go to the Scottish Rite shoe funds. There's a little bit in there. There's some change and a few dollar bills. Very peaceful out here. And if you follow this pathway down, it turns into a nature trail. And just off to the side, you'll notice these railroad tracks that are no longer in use, sitting under the elements. And if you follow them along, you will see the miniature train that once rode those rails, and the little barn that houses it. That's a serious antique right there. Designated a Century Flyer to give you a little more detailed close-up look at it, and a little peek inside towards the engine. Even a little mirror of sorts was right there. It's been removed, but the holder still remains. It would have just backed right up into this makeshift station. You can see how it would have just pushed itself back and been stored right under here. Don't want to get too distracted, however. It's about time for me to start heading back over to the area I came here for. This rainbow trout was found in the water, 16 pounds, 7 ounces. Take a look at that thing. I bet there's going to be some just like that swimming around once I'm down there. See if I can pinpoint it on the map. A little bit northeast of Chattanooga, past Cleveland, Athens. There's Sweetwater, and designated right there, the Lost Sea. This is the gateway, slanted downward. It's like a tube, a big, kind of scary yellow tube into the depths. That's where I'm heading.
Bless your souls, you're stuck with me, Shelby, the weirdest, the wackiest tour guide the Lost Seas ever have to offer, and yes, I do take that title very seriously.
Walking over a very shaky bridge. can feel it like buckling as I walk.
Now this is what we like to call the legendary Vale of Tears. Now you may be wondering, why would I know it's so active, or how do I know it's so active? Well, if you look to the top row right here for me, you see how the stalactites are nice and shiny just a little bit? Well, that's all the water they absorbed over the years from the cave system. Now all that water, it actually drips right over here on the bottom row. Those are what we like to call stalagmites. Now here's how you tell the difference between the two. Stalactites, they cling very tight to the ceiling. Stalagmites, they cling very low to the bottom floor.
In a way, it almost looks like a mouth, like teeth that are about to clamp down onto something. Stalactites and stalagmites.
Instead of up and down like all the stalactites and mites in our cave system, and here's the real kicker, it's only us. It's 7 other caves in the entire world, making 8 caves in total that even actually have a population of amphibians on their sites. But here at the Lost Sea, we actually hold a good portion of the population itself. So thanks to them, we were put on the map as a U.S. natural landmarker in itself. Now the Confederate soldiers during the Civil War, they would actually come down here and mine for saltpeter, or its scientific name, potassium nitrate. As soon as they would get done filling this vat up, they would add boiling hot water to it. They would let it seep from this part of the trowel right here, all the way to the end to the iron bucket right down here. Now everybody, they will let it harden overnight. That eventually form is what we like to call mother's liquor. Now, you may be wondering what's so special about it. After they would let it harden and form mother's liquor, then they would add potash lye or lysed up charcoal to the mixture that eventually create is what we like to call saltpeter crystals. Well, thanks to those crystals that they actually sent off to local refineries here in East Tennessee, that's actually how they made their gunpowder for the war to this very day. So thanks to the leaching vat, it's one of 2 very big reasons why we're put on the map as a U.S. Civil War trail marker.
Passing through a metal gate. Going further in.
See this nice, big, smoothed out area? Well, this is what we like to call the big whirlpool effect. Now, I will explain how both of them were actually formed. Now, from the very way that we just entered, from the natural entrance right up here, at one point in time, this entire cave system was actually flooded. So as you can imagine, over a very long period of time, all that water actually eroded away the bedrock thinness themselves and the big whirlpool effect right above your head as well. We can actually feed over 20,000 people for 2 weeks. Or fill this entire chamber by itself by 3 times over with how much supplies that we had. Now, what we could not donate to local communities, churches, and museums alike. This is actually what we still have left over to this very day. And yes, those boxes and crates do contain something. They contain 70-year-old protein packed saltine crackers. You're actually in the 3rd largest chamber in our entire cave system. Now, here are the dimensions. 600 feet long, 150 feet wide, and from the floor to the ceiling, it goes up to 35 feet. We actually have a very weird name for this chamber. We like to call it the keel room. Not kill because of the keel wreck lake right behind you guys, where you're actually very walking on, and directly behind you all as well. It is actually a natural type of bacteria oozing from the rock itself, or moon's milk. Now the Native Americans, this is where they came in. Instead of buttermilk, they would pack with them lots of water. Say you had a little cut or a little scrape on your arm. Mix a tiny bit of water with this moose milk. It would act like a natural Neosporin or a natural Band-Aid in the same sense. Now here's a really big scientific fact. Moose milk actually has the consistency of 2-week-old toothpaste. I know, right? Mine's officially blown. But if you've been bad, mischievous, or naughty in some way, shape, or form, you will see the devil himself. I heard he went down to Georgia a couple times. Now, everybody, whenever you're ready, feel free to take a look.
It's the devil's hole. Beelzebub is down there, so they say. This section is a little steep. I think we're almost to the lake. I think we're almost there. At least I hope so.
Now this is what we like to call the Baby Grand Canyon. Well, as you guys can tell by its name, it actually has the exact shaping of the Grand Canyon itself, just on a very much smaller scale. Now you may be wondering, how was it actually formed? As you can imagine, when all that water here wanted to move, it wanted to move. So it came through here, eroding away the Baby Grand Canyon directly right here, and right behind you guys as well.
heading down deeper and deeper at quite the angle. Is that another moonshine still I see way down there? It almost looks like a sci-fi droid or robot of some sort. And the stream from the waterfall is just careening downward. I have a feeling it's going to culminate very soon.
Please scoot to either side of the tunnel, because what I'm about to say, this is the most historical and the most respected part in the entire tour and the cave system as well. Now everybody, what you are now standing under, this is what we like to call the Ben Sands Tunnel. Reason being, back in 1905, a 13-year-old child by the name of Mr. Ben Sands, he was actually directly above us exploring during a period of a drought season. He actually found the hole the size of a bicycle tire. So this is what he decided to do. He grabbed his basic oil lantern at the time, he crawled down that hole. We actually had a team of explorers and divers come down here, blast and drill out this tunnel. My evidential pieces, right up here. See this little indent in the wall right up here, everybody? That is a basic blast mark. And right here, this little smooth indentation, this is a blast line. Now all these rough chippy edges that you guys are seeing right along this wall, these are all the drill marks. Now here's the thing. Our team of explorers, they heard the stories from Ben Sands and all the rumors from the locals as well. So here's what we decided to do. We gave him a bit of a test. What I'm about to say may absolutely shock you and blow your minds. We got Mr. Ben Sands down here at the age of 73. He explored that entire chamber like he knew like the back of his hand. So when we first early commercialized, we gave him the very first boat ride, a photograph, and a plaque in honor and memory of Mr. Ben Sands. Reason being, he actually passed away 6 months later at the ripe age of 73 as well. So that's why we give him so much credit here. Because without him discovering that chamber that all you're about to see and experience for yourselves today, we would not be the lofty that we are known for today as well.
You would think this is a mirror, but that's water down there. Pretty amazing how clear it is and how reflective it is. You see the rocks from above looking like they're down there when they're not, they're above it. I've lost the rest of the group.
As you may have already guessed it, welcome to Ben Sands' greatest discovery, the underground labyrinth, or its modern home name, the Lost Sea. Now here are the dimensions. 800 feet long, 220 feet wide. Or from the water's surface to the very peak of the chamber itself, it goes up to 65 feet. Now everybody, these set of rules I am very picky about. These are my boat rules. Whenever myself or Jeff load you up onto the boat, please go all the way down to the end of the rope, remain seated until the end of the boat ride. All 5 of you started.
Alright, so now they are away from the boat dock. You all can touch the water if you want to. It is a nice warm 56 degrees. If you did put your hands in the water and took them out, they may have felt a little bit softer. That's because this water has natural moisturizing properties in it due to all the minerals. I didn't believe that at first either. I did fall in one time. I'm actually 86 years old. Now this little fountain over here next to the boat dock, that is part of our aeration system. That puts oxygen in the water so the fish can breathe, and it does give this lake a little bit of a current to keep it from becoming stagnant. It's kind of like we're in a really big fish tank. Now I had to put that down here to help because the fish in this lake are not natural. They were originally brought into this cave as part of an experiment in 1967 to see if there was a way out. We chose rainbow trout for a few reasons. The main ones being that they like to swim upstream, enjoy the cold temperature of the water here, and they actually cannot reproduce inside this cave, so we can control their population. For that experiment, we gathered up about 200 trout, tagged them with our name, phone number, address, all that fun stuff, and we set those free in the hopes one would get out and be caught by someone up on the surface. Now, as great as that plan sounds, it did have one major flaw. As it turns out, if you keep trout in a room and you feed them on every single boat ride, they don't really want to leave. Now that experiment, it was ultimately a failure, but we do still stock fish down here because people like to see them. I imagine that if we didn't have fish, it would end up being a pretty boring boat ride to some people. They will probably bite you, and they do have teeth. Right there. Now there is no natural food source for the fish down here. The only thing that they have to eat is what we feed them. It is a special blend of food specifically for rainbow trout. It's the only kind they will eat. They are very, very picky.
Wow.
The fish down here, they can get pretty big. That's mainly because there are no predators. So the only thing that they ever die of down here is old age. We also do feed them on every single boat ride. I imagine that if I was fed 25 to 80 times a day, I would end up getting pretty big also.
How deep is this water?
Right here is about 50 to 60 feet deep. The deepest point is just a little bit further back, and that's about 70 feet deep.
Wow.
So the biggest fish we have down here, they're around 12 to 13 pounds. The biggest fish we've ever gotten out, he's the one in the lobby. His name is Trevor. He was 16 pounds, 7 ounces, 33 inches long. Water in this part of the cave, it's around 50 to 60 feet deep. The deepest point is back here under this low rock, and that's around 70 feet deep. For a bit of perspective, we could put an entire 6-story building down there, and the top of that would still be underwater.
Oh, there's one down
You
there.
been drinking that, sir?
Ooh.
Oh, I think he has.
Oh, that's cool.
One of the guilty fish run.
How many fish total are there in here, you
There's
think?
about 400 or so down here right now.
Oh, look at that one.
Big. There's some pretty big ones down here.
Where does this water flow out?
It doesn't.
It doesn't flow
It
out?
seeps out through groundwater. There is no outlet. This is where our last major rockfall happened. It started in this area back here where these rocks are flat and ran all the way down to the boat dock. This dropped 3 chunks, each weighed about 9 tons. This is about 2,000 years ago, so we should be due for another one any day now. We know this is 2,000 years ago because of the drapery up here on the wall. This stuff cannot grow behind rocks or in cracks, so all of this had to have grown after the rockfall happened. With this piece here, scraped off, sent to a lab and isotope dated, came back about 2,000 years old, so we assume the rockfall happened about the same time. Hey Mo. Let's go.
These stairs you see are the only original pathway that's left from when it originally opened as a tourist attraction. Can't walk up those anymore. They built new ones, but they're still here for all to see.
Hey everybody, you've seen the legendary bear's paw. You may be wondering, why does it not look like its twin? Well, look right up here for me. See this? This is what it's supposed to look like. That nice rusty, crusty kind of look to it. Well, here's what happened. Because of all the rushing water that used to come through here at one point in time, and then us later on as human beings, all the oils and minerals in our skin are actually very hurtful and harmful to this type of rock. So over the years, we basically eroded it away, giving it that smooth, polished look to it, and the feel to it today as well.
That's going to do it for today. All in all, about an hour and a half of non-stop walking to the destination, and then, you know, a quick trip back up. A little bit longer than I expected. All in all, a good time. If you're new here, please subscribe. By doing so helps keep you in the loop and up to date on future endeavors, adventures I will be going on, as well as uploads on this channel. And if you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up. It lets me know you care. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.